So here we are. One of the best activities to do on the island of Maui is to drive along the Hana Highway to the town of Hana and beyond. Something to keep in mind, there will be so many scenic stops along the Hana Highway, and the way how I structured this video is that I will list them out in chronological order of how they will come up along your drive on Hana Highway. There is a short hike to go from the lower falls to the upper falls, but the hike itself wasn't too bad at all. It was just like about 20 minutes, but it's totally worth it. I highly recommend for you to do so. Something to keep in mind, this part of the island of Maui, especially on the Hana Highway, it is the wettest area of the island, and it's actually one of the wettest location in the world. So please bring your rain jacket and don't let the rain deter you away from enjoying the nature. So something to keep in mind is that some of the locals are not a big fan of tourists, and that can be understandable of how some of the tourists kind of disturb their living style and their peace. So with that said, sometimes you will see signs that they want the tourists to kind of stay out of the area. So if that's the case, please respect their request and, you know, turn around. Keana town, it's actually not exactly on the Hana Highway, so it's more like a detour, but I gotta tell you, it's such a beautiful town and it's definitely worth your time there. Keana Arboretum is one of the few places that you get to actually see the eucalyptus trees, or you can also call them like Picasso trees, because the trunk, it's so beautiful. It's like it's a painting, as you can see in the video. So I highly encourage you that you take a stroll through it. So this part from here onward until you reach the town of Hana, there are going to be lots of waterfalls, so I'm just pointing them out as we go through it. And oh, there is a surprise on mile marker 23, and this is actually a lava tube. It's a small one. In fact, you cannot even find it on Google Maps. So keep in mind when you approach the so-called mile 23 and you see a bunch of cars kind of parked along the side, and you can see kind of like the cave under the big tree. Give it a try. It was actually really fun just to check it out for a quick stop. So something I do want to point out is that if you do decide to spend about 2 days along the road to Hana, the accommodation is going to be quite expensive actually, even for camping, and you can't just camp anywhere. So I just want to for you guys to be aware of it. When you reach the town of Hana, your actual journey is not over yet, so I encourage you, don't turn around yet. Keep on going along the highway, and I'm telling you, it's so worth it, and there's so many beautiful stops that you can still make, and it's so different from some of the things that you have seen early on. Venus Pool was one of my favorite stops along the road to Hana, and actually, well, technically beyond the town of Hana. And by the way, it has limited parking spots for like only 5 or 6 cars, so I suggest arrive early in the morning. and don't try to park in front of people's houses. You will see signs that they actually don't like it at all. And if you feel courageous enough and you want to do the cliff jumping, I would say go for it.
That's gonna be very red.
As you continue your journey beyond the town of Hana, you will come to Pipiwai Trail, and this is one of the most beautiful trails I've done in Hawaii. So the reason behind it is that you get so many things along the way. You get the bamboo forest, you get to climb the banyan tree and hanging from it like a sloth. And as you continue, there are so many waterfalls along the way until you reach the highest waterfall at the peak of it. I hope you guys enjoy it. The actual trail itself, it took us about 3 hours total. It wasn't too bad because the fact that it's so enjoyable and the scenery changes, from the bamboo forest to the waterfalls, and obviously when you get to the biggest one, Waioka Falls, it's so worth it. By the way, when I was there, which was January of 2022, we couldn't swim in the 7 sacred pools at all. So keep in mind, as you continue on the Hana Highway, especially when you pass the town of Hana, at some point the highway ends and it goes into a different highway, which is Piilani Highway. And the scenery also changes. It's not going to be rainy, it's going to be sunny, and also the terrain changes. It's more a volcanic landscape. And on top of that, there's part of the sections that it's quite bumpy, and you're definitely going to need a 4x4 cars to kind of trek over that part of the road. But after that, the road gets paved and really smooth afterward.
Hopefully, in the near future, scientists will find a better way.
Hey guys, mahalo. Thank you so much for watching the video all the way till the end. If you like the video, please do hit the subscribe button. Other than that, see you next time. Aloha.